Welcome back to Tales of Ussuri. We are a Mythcraft podcast, and this is our first campaign, The Sea's Tale. I am Corey Griffin, and I will be our MC today.
You're always going to be the MC. What are you talking about?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
With me today, I have Joey.
Hey guys, my name is Joey Hosmer. I'm playing Ussuri Arconi, and yeah, looking forward to the session.
So today, our tale begins a little bit differently than our tale will begin most of the time, because today we are starting the prologues for each of our individual characters. With that being said, it is just me and Joey. Like we said during session 0, we will also refer to him as Badger from time to time. Just me and him today. It is 20 years ago. You are 15. What did your life look like for you when you were 15?
Okay, so when I was 15, life was interesting. I'm not gonna say that he was a spoiled rich kid. If by he, I mean my character. I'm not gonna say that he was a spoiled rich kid or anything, but he kind of had it made. He worked with his father a little bit, started to work with his father a little bit, and with that, I mean they earned everything that they made of themselves and for themselves. And you'll figure out how they did that in probably this session.
All right. So we're going to pull ourselves into Tier when you were 15. You're, like you said, with your father and a couple of his associates, doing what you guys are kind of known for doing. This one sticks into your mind because of how bad it went. So your father leads you into the storefront. It's just a small cobbler's shop, but it seems like they might be behind a bit. Your father walks up to the man at the counter, just asks him, "Why do you treat me like a joke?" The Brunei that is working the counter kind of, if anything, seems to shrink even smaller than yourself in your father's presence. And he, I'll get you your money. Your father laughs. He thinks we're really here just about the money. Can you believe that? He says, looking to you now.
He says what? Sorry?
He says it's just about the money. Can you believe that?
Suri just kind of lets out a small not really sure what's going on. I mean, he kind of knows what happens when stuff like this goes down, but this is his first time ever experiencing it. So he's just kind of nervous, and like you said, he's just kind of shrinking in the corner. Like he's there, but he doesn't want to get in the way or anything like that.
Right. And your father gives you this look of like, your father and you have a good relationship, and the look on his face is not one you're 100% used to seeing. It's not necessarily disappointment, maybe more like he thought you would be ready for this. Though at this point, he's not entirely sure. Before his attention turns back to the brunette. Just the little cobbler that is, looking at a 7-foot tall bear person. And your father says, and I thought that we had, yes, I thought we had come to an understanding. But no. It seems like your little shop here isn't quite worth the trouble. And he starts walking around, tapping on different pieces of the furniture and kind of motioning to you as he touches different things. Whether it is a table that was relatively nicely made, or just like a small, what are those things called? Like a triangle shelf that has doors.
A cabinet?
A curio. A small curio.
Oh, okay.
You understand what your father wants you to do.
Yeah, so I think Ussuri would kind of steel himself. I think he recognizes, like, now what's happening and what's going to happen. So he's gonna walk over to the table, and he's gonna snap a leg off of the nice table.
The man, the brunei, is like, no, that's I'll get you your money. You guys don't have to do this. I will get you your money. And your father continues with, the thing about it is that you're already multiple months late. You're already looking for a problem, my friend. Your father motions for you to continue.
He's gonna snap another leg off of the table and then take the one that he kept in his hands and smash it down on top of the curio.
At the destruction of the curio, you hear the recognizable sound of porcelain smacking on solid stone as the things that were in this curio come crashing down. And once again, the man cries out, enough! I will get you your money. I will get you your money. And your father kind of keeps shaking his head, and he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I need something now to calm the rage in my boy. I need something now. And the brunei goes over to the counter, which from as tall as you and your father are, you see him just fine. But when he reaches like into the back of the counter, it's like you can't see his hands for a minute, and he comes back up with a lockbox and he puts it on the counter. And the brunei says, "Here, this is everything I got. This is everything I got. Please, just take this and leave."
Can I roll intuition on that?
Yeah, you can roll an awareness check. Intuiting would be under that.
14.
You're not 100% sure that he's telling the truth. Actually, you're pretty sure that he's not.
So with that, I'm gonna look at my father and then look at the Brunei and just say, I think you're lying to me. And you're lying to my father. And I'm gonna take the table leg that I still have, and I'm gonna look at I'm assuming there's like a bust or something on like a nice like
Oh yeah.
marble. Yeah, and I'm just gonna swing right into the bust and crack it.
Not only do you crack the bust, the bust kind of, using the phrase, the bust shoots off of the counter like a baseball does off of a tee into the glass windows, shattering them both. Would not be unkind way to describe this.
Excellent.
However, as everything just kind of explodes, it seems like the bust had something in it, some kind of ash. And the Brunei looks at you and looks at your father, and with a few quick arcane words, the entire shop is in flames. Now, your father, not unused to dealing with magical shopkeepers, but not knowing that this one in particular was one, will lead you out the door and make sure that you get out. Will you roll me an endurance check of some kind?
17.
You get out just fine. However, you do notice that going up the right side of your father's arm, you're going up the side of your father's right arm, put the right in the right spot. There is scorch marks where the fire caught, but your father doesn't even seem to really bat an eye as he kind of pats the fires out of his right arm, and he says, well, that could have went a little bit better.
I'm sorry, Father. I tried to keep him from insulting you any further.
Well, some things to remember in the future is you want a man to bend, not break.
I understand, Father.
Because a man that bends is one you can use. A man that breaks, well, we just experienced what that leads to. This extortion continues in your father's territory on Tere. At some point, your father stops taking you, and he starts sending you. At some point, and you can't remember exactly when your father just started sending you. You do know that he very much seemed to enjoy how good you are at your job. Eventually, you start taking your brother with you, much to your mother's chagrin. Though, with that being said, your mother enjoys the lifestyle. She just didn't necessarily want her baby boy doing it too. And your father moves on to bigger jobs. Almost directly, you also move on to bigger jobs. Your father once controlled a small town on Tere. Now he's giving you that town as he controls the entire island. This is 10 years ago. you no longer go around extorting them yourself. You have your brother and your best friend, Ode God, who the two of them have kind of become your uh brigadier, was it brigadiers that we named it?
Yeah, Brigadier's works.
So your brother and your best friend, who are your brigadiers, they are your people that you go to make sure certain things get done. It seems like right now there's another shop, not necessarily a shop, a gambling den that seems to not be giving you your money. You know this is run by a dragon folk named. And with that being said, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get the crew together, and I'm gonna see to this one personally. This gambling den has been late a few months now, and I think it's time for one of those situations where if you want to make sure that it gets done right, you go yourself.
Right. So you get the crew together, and you go down, and you see this red dragon folk. His wings seem to have been clipped at one point, like someone cut the membrane that would allow him to fly. However, he just takes a look around. He sees you all come in, and he's like, all right. Before we get down to business, can I send the guys home? They don't need to be here for this.
You can send all of them but one.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, I need to be here for this.
You choose the other one to stay. You and one other.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Shit. Alright. I will be right back. And I know your boys are probably watching the doors. I'm even gonna try and do that. I'm gonna go get the one that I want to stay here and let everyone else know to fucking leave, alright? I don't want this to happen in front of customers. Alright?
Don't insult me.
I mean,
Go.
I mean no offense. It's just y'all walked in here, and that's not yeah. And
Do what you have to, but don't insult me by trying anything stupid.
you got your boys. You got your boys on all the exits. It's not like I'm gonna get out of here.
Shut up and go.
He throws the double doors open, and inside, through the double doors, you see what looks like an absolutely packed casino. Different people playing cards, just a bunch of people. And all of a sudden, everyone starts filing out. They come back through these doors, and they're walking past you.
I'm just standing in the middle of like the room, like in the entryway, like so people have to walk around me, like they have to split around me to be able to get out the door, and I'm just standing there, hands like locked together, just in front of me, just imposing.
And eventually, the dragon folk comes back, and he brings with him a Katek. This Katek looks like a little snow leopard. She is particularly young, probably no more than 12, 13 years old. if that. She is dressed up quite nicely, one might say. Maybe a little too nice for someone her age. And the dragon folk's like, I I have your money. I don't want nothing broke. I'm sorry for being late. I also got some information you might like hearing.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back. And he leaves her with you all, and she's absolutely terrified.
You, child.
Yeah.
Come here.
Very timidly, she does not look up at you. Her eyes are like planted at your feet. Her tail is like as coiled up as it could possibly be. She comes towards you.
What is it that you do here?
What? Whatever I'm told.
And what are you told?
Mostly get drinks and offer services.
What kind of services?
The look that she gives you says it all.
Interesting. Do you like what you do here?
The look also answers that question.
I understand. When the dragon folk comes back out, stand off to the side. I don't want you getting hurt.
She kind of, again, she won't look completely up at you after that little bit of a look. Before she just kind of nods.
I'm also gonna look around. Are there any tables or anything in this entryway?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it is. There are tables. There is like this long, immaculate, rather expensive leather couch. There are. I mean, on the bar is also in the entryway kind of area. So, I mean, he's got hundreds of bottles of alcohol, but after a few minutes, the dragon folk comes back out with a rather large chest as he puts it down on the counter, and he's like, all right, here you go.
I would look at two of the crew members, not my brother or Bodvar, and just give them a nod, and they would know that go grab the chest.
These two hulking Urakawa men come over and lift the chest up, and with another nod from you would leave.
I give them the nod.
Yeah, and so they start to walk out. And the dragon folk's like, now that that is settled, I heard an interesting little rumor about Roberto.
Okay, do tell.
I mean, I have to try and make a little bit of money off of what I got, though, right? Like, try to be able to pay you, or
do tell,
or you can maybe cut back a little bit on the
I'm gonna walk up to him and just stand over him.
You're so large that even this man has to just kind of tilt his head almost the whole way back to look at you. And he's like, I heard that Island City might not be as safe as it used to be. I heard that the old man, he might be getting a little bit too old for the role, if you know what I'm saying.
Are you implying that we should betray some of the other families?
Oh, I'm not saying that you guys should do anything. Larko and Parko are already working on it.
Do you have anything that we don't already know that's useful?
I mean, I think it's quite useful to know that they're, Mason Larko is trying to form a coup.
I'll keep it in mind. Now, as for the child you brought me,
I mean, I did not necessarily bring her for you. You said that I had to keep one of my employees with me, and so I kept one of my employees with me.
how cowardice for you to hide behind a child.
I do not believe that I'm hiding. I'm right here.
Especially knowing that we have banned slave trading in this town.
And you see the color drain from this man's skin.
I'm gonna reach down as like he's freaking out, and I'm just gonna grab him by the collar of his shirt and just kind of lift him up to eye level. He's not choking, so he can still grovel.
Yeah,
but now we're eye to eye.
She's not a slave. No, she's not. No. Hey, let me. Hey.
Miss, are you here voluntarily?
She doesn't answer.
That's all the answer that I need.
When she doesn't, he's like, "You bitch! You fucker!"
When he says that, I'm gonna slam him up against a wall. And then I'm gonna look at Bodvar, and I'm gonna point at a table and nod. Of which I'm hoping he gets that I want him to break a leg off of the table and bring it over to you.
He brings you the table leg.
And then I'm gonna look at Kamcha, and I'm gonna nod for him to come over here, and I'm just gonna hand him the dragon folk.
Obviously, he is your equal in size. He's your younger brother. The two of you are very matching description, but he is your equal in size and strength.
So, as Kamcha is holding him, I'm gonna take the dragon folk's one of his arms, his right arm particularly, and I'm gonna place it on the counter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, how many more slaves do you have?
You watch him just breathe out as he says, "More than you will find."
Do you think this is a joke? Do you think I am a joke?
I think there ain't nothing I can say that's gonna get me to walk out of these doors. So why should I give you the satisfaction?
How many more do you have?
And at this point, the Katek says, "There are 7 of us."
Are they all here?
She says, "Yes."
I'm gonna look over at 2 more of the crew members and have them go to the back, and then I'll say to the Ketek, "Little miss, please follow my associates to where your others are, and they will get you out of here and somewhere safe."
Okay. And she does lead the group to. I'm trying to find her name. Okay.
I got you. No, you're good.
She leads you to she leads your group down into the basement where they find a Brunei, an elf, a dwarf, a satyr, a trollkin, a Hondu, and they find a particularly young Urkel. Like, young Urkel. And obviously, you know, your boys are your boys. They take them, they let them out, they carry the satyr out, who does not look good. It looks like the satyr may have received a particularly rough beating.
Is this a joke to you? Do you think slave trading and sex slaves are a joke? That you, in our town, you must think me a joke.
It ain't no joke. I mean, I didn't think you guys were gonna find out. Like, I kind of figured I'd get away with it and be able to pay you guys off the top and make more money on the bottom. Like,
And before he can stop talking, I'm gonna slam the leg of the table on the countertop just next to his hand. I'm not hitting him, but next to him.
obviously, he stops talking.
Why do you think that I should keep you alive now? You have been disloyal. You have tried to cheat me. You just admitted to trying to deceive and steal from me. And the one fucking rule we have in this town is no slaves. Why should you live?
I mean, if I'm gonna be honest with you, at this point, I don't think I'm walking out of here already. So,
Gotcha. Take care of him for me. And I'm gonna let his arm go.
alright. So, he was taken care of. That gambling den no longer stands. It is believed that they found him in one of the cells with his entire, with, you know, everything that he did burning down around him. But no one really wants to talk about him. Even his name has been struck from record. Now, we're going to skip forward another 10 years. Your father called you to his office. He has a plan. He's like, my boy, my son, whose rise to power matches my own. How are you doing today?
I am well, father. The business is going quite well today.
I know, it is wonderful. It is wonderful having Terre all to ourselves. Now, I have a question for you.
Yes, father.
I was approached with a bit of a alliance, I guess we should say, with Mason Larko, Perry Parko, and Aegis Windwalker.
An alliance with two other families who are rumored to be trying to dethrone the main family?
I mean, when you've got Perry in there, It's not really dethroning the main family. It's perhaps a change in leadership. A son stepping into his father's role.
Assuming the father is willing to give up the role, but I, if this is the way that you think we should go, then I don't disagree with you.
I can't. I brought you here mostly because I wanted your opinion. Wanted your opinion to see what you thought. Right. For the most part, we are going to use the Windwalkers to do a majority of the dirty work. Or, the wet work.
I'll be honest, Father, and I mean this with utmost respect. I don't know. I don't know that this is where we should go as a family. I think it will inevitably create a power vacuum, and the Tomerez are gonna eat it up. They're going to try and swoop in and pick up any aftermath. There's going to be infighting with all the other families, and there's gonna be chaos, and I don't necessarily think that we should be in the middle of it.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong. The issue only becomes if the Parco family splits in half between Perry and Roberto, then they're not going to be as strong as they stand now. After that, you have the Larcos. They would be the next strongest. After that is us. We're already in the middle. We just have to choose a side.
If it's one thing that you've taught me, Father, it's loyalty to the family is the key to survival.
I mean,
and we crush those who aren't loyal to us.
loyalty is absolute.
I understand where there may be some benefit, but really, when do we benefit from Perry taking over and superseding his father? I don't think we'll gain the immediate benefits as they promise. It never works that way.
They're promising access to City Island, to the guilds, where the real money is.
It's very tempting, Father.
But you're probably right. I mean, Perry is the second son. The Windwalkers are strong, and for the most part, Roberto, I mean, he trusts Aegis and all. You know, it's a plan that can work. I don't want to side on the wrong side of this war that's brewing.
I don't want to side on the wrong one either.
And he gives you a nod, pours you a scotch, and he says, "That's why I called you here. Me and you, we think so much alike. I value your opinion, my oldest son."
I appreciate that, Father. It means more than you could imagine.
So he holds up the glass um, and takes a drink. Do you drink with him? Without
Yes.
looking, without looking
Yes.
at the roll 20.
Yes. It doesn't even seem fitting to try to roll anything. Spoiler, I have it up. I saw you roll something, and I don't know what it means. And I don't know if it's good or bad or both. But I think I wouldn't even question the drink, and I would drink.
And I mean, it's a good drink. It is a aged, it is an ale. However, there's a bit of a sour note on the end. Does a 17 beat your fortitude?
Yes.
All right. You look around at the world, and it starts to get a little bit. Calling it fuzzy would not be completely right, but it does seem to wobble. I mean, you've been on the decks of ships before. The ground doesn't normally do this. As your father says, "I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with what you said. We're gonna back Perry. And I need your loyalty. No matter what happens tonight, you were there." And that's the last thing you remember hearing him say. Before you wake up, in your father's office, like someone at some point moved you over to the couch. Not the first time you've slept on that couch. Also, not the first time your father would have slept on that couch. It's a large couch for large people to sleep on. You don't see your father. You are alone in this room. What are you going to do?
What the fuck was in that drink? Jeez. Oh, fuck. Okay. Where's... you need to go and find Bodvar. But first, I'm going to look around the office and see... Is there anything around here that I can... Is there anything around here that I can take to protect myself? Because obviously there's some shit going on.
I need an intellect check.
Okay. Then... So that's just going to be straight. That's 15.
You find something that might enrage you more than finding out that your father just drugged you. You read a letter between Kamcha and your father where Kamcha tells your father that he's been meeting with Perry and that they could use you for the perfect fall guy in case something goes wrong. That you, as long as you don't show up to stop them, you're in good enough standing that the worst thing that'll happen to you is an exile. Where if it comes back that your father was the one that did it, well, then you're looking at an all-out war.
Son of a... They've plotted against me. What? So much for loyalty. What even is loyalty if your own flesh and blood is willing to sacrifice you? What to do now?
At this point, I think Juviet comes into the office, and Juviet is significantly younger than you. You were 18 before she was even born, but now she is starting to become much like her mother, shrewder than some of you give them credit for, but also not necessarily wanting into the business. And Juviet says, "You're still here, brother."
I just woke up, Juviet. What are you doing here?
I mean, me and Mom are going shopping. You know what's coming, right?
The question is, do you know what's coming?
I only found out when I moved you to the couch.
I'm going to take the letter and put it in my pocket. And I'm going to look at Juviet and I'm going to tell her, do yourself a favor and you know nothing.
Story of my life.
I'm going to have to go now, sister.
Stop by and see our mother for a minute. At least tell her goodbye.
I will. And then I'm going to give Juviet the biggest bear hug that one sibling could give to another.
And she's gonna hug you back. And she says, I got something for you. I know I'm not supposed to know, but... And she hands you this large cylinder thing. And as you grip it in your hand, like, it's no table leg, but you know a pipe when you hold it. And she's like, "Can you give him hell?"
I sure can, little sister. Thank you. And I'm gonna take the pipe.
And then she will take off. And she's like, "Oh, Mom is in the painting room."
Thank you, little sister. And then in this office, is this, like, obviously this is my dad's main office. Are there any heirlooms or anything in here?
I mean, you do see the heirloom.
The heirloom.
The heirloom. Would you like to describe the heirloom?
The heirloom is a rather sizable, ornate anchor hanging on the wall behind my father's desk. It is a symbol of the Sarko family. And with it is a beautiful chain that can be used as kind of a sling. And so I'm going to quite literally tear this anchor off the wall, causing destruction.
As you do.
And Ussuri utters, I guess the family doesn't need this heirloom anymore. And I'm going to sling it on my back and walk towards the painting room to go and visit my mother.
As you step into the painting room, your mother is definitely in her painting clothes. Years upon years of paint, blotches, and splits definitely cover most of this outfit. You have fond memories of this room. You look up and you see she's working on a portrait of you, surprisingly. And as you walk in, the sun seems to catch your face in such a way, and she's like, "Nope, stop right there for just a minute." As she does something on the canvas, and she's like, "All right, that lighting was just too good for me not to use it. How you doing? You doing okay? You been eating well?"
I don't know how I'm doing. But I do know that I'm going to have to leave.
How long you think you're gonna be gone for?
Ask Father. He'll know the answer.
Well, will you do me one thing? She says as she starts messing with some of her paintbrushes and such.
Anything for you, Mother.
Here, hold on to this until you can give it back to me. And she hands you a double-sided paintbrush.
This is a very special paintbrush.
I know what it is. Hold on to it until you can get it back to me. Alright? Ain't nobody gonna tear us all apart. Not for long, anyway.
I will, Mother. And I'll make sure to bring it back to you.
Alright. I love you.
I love you too, Mother.
Now, I'm kind of covered in paint, and I'm working on your portrait here, but
I'm gonna cut her off and just give her a hug.
She hugs you back, and she says in your ear, "I'm not stupid, you know.
I know, Mother.
Only one reason would make you leave like this. You're my boy. Give him hell.
I will, Mother.
Remember, there's more to you than just a circle." She gives you a kiss on your cheek, and a wink, and a smile.
And I'm gonna turn and leave out of the painting room.
She watches you walk away, and at this point, you know it probably won't be too much longer before someone comes looking for you.
I am gonna try and make my way out of the house and down to the piers so I can try to hitch a ride on a boat and leave Terre.
Are you caring about any kind of stealth or anything like that, or just beeline?
I'm I'm probably just gonna beeline it.
Alright. So you get to the docks, and I mean, it's not the first time you've ever left Terre, but it is definitely the first time that you weren't 100% sure when you were coming back. And on the docks, you see Jim. Jim is just this human who he's never been late on payments. He's always been on the up and up. He's always given you anything that you asked for and a little bit more, because you helped him, he's helped you. So Jim sees you coming up the docks in what can only be called a bear rush, and he's like, my friend, what you need? Where you trying to go in such a hurry?
Away from there. Quickly.
Away from Terre is a lot of places. But, alright, I got a boat. Let's go.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate your loyalty.
Only thing to get done, only thing that works on this side of the river.
Oh, one would think.
And like he throws this like bag onto this two-person sailing ship. I mean, he probably runs it most of the time solo, but easily room for you to fit on as well. As he's like, well, the way you're moving, it's probably time to get going now.
The faster, the better.
All right. As you guys start setting sail, he's like, so, where exactly are we heading? Like, are you trying to hide, or are you trying to attack?
I need to disappear.
So, Monster?
Look, I know you've been smuggling for years now. Don't think I don't know what you do. I'll let you take me where you think I should go.
You get your cut. Don't even act like you don't. You know you do.
We've had a working relationship, Jim.
But again.
But we have a mutual understanding. And I need to hide, and I think you know the best place for me to go.
Monster, if you're trying to hide, and I take it you're trying to hide from...
Better left unsaid. Plausible deniability.
Like I said, I assume you're trying to hide from, I would probably go Monster.
Monster it is.
Now, you know that they're not a family island. But it's pretty easy to go ahead and hide there.
I think I'm better off dealing with Omer's areas than I am my own family areas.
All right. Well, I guess. I mean, I got I got supplies on the ship to last us the 4 days to Monster. And I'm not going to ask any more questions, mostly because, yeah, no,
Plausible deniability.
exactly. Just know, if you ever need to get somewhere that you're not 100% concerned on the time, but you don't want to get caught, and I mean, this conversation is happening as he is getting this ship ready.
I would hope so.
The last part of that conversation happened with the wind hitting the sails, and I don't know. Do you look back at Terre?
No. I think I would probably just find something to kind of cover myself up with, so anybody who sees the boat can't see who it is on the boat.
Right.
Besides Jim, obviously.
I mean, I kind there is like this small little below deck area. I mean, he's a smuggler. He can hide you.
Yeah, I don't think Ussuri would look back.
As you sail on in to Monster. Again, it's 4 days on a ship. I do have some ship mechanics, but I'm not going to worry about that for the prologues. The world can yell at me for inconsistency later. But you pull into the docks on Monster, and, you know, he's like, we're here. I mean, for the most part, there ain't no reason for... You do notice the accent change almost like explicitly, right?
Ooh, so he's a professional.
He's like, there ain't no reason for no one to no one to look for you here. We gonna... I'm gonna miss you.
Miss you too, Jim. I enjoyed our brief conversations during business hours.
I enjoyed the conversations we had outside of business hours even more.
I don't know where you get it, but I'm definitely going to miss that scotch that you always seem to have.
Go on down to the Red Crow. The Red Crow. Tell him I sent you. Tell him I said to have a bottle, that they owe me a couple bottles yet, and to give one of them to you.
I appreciate that, Jim.
Now, go on and get.
One last thing, Jim. Do you have a tarp or something that I could have? I don't necessarily want to walk around with this large anchor. It's kind of out there.
Oh yeah. Here you go. He goes below deck and pulls out a tarp and hands it to you.
Thank you, Jim.
I mean, I don't necessarily know why you decided you wanted to have that. You hear an accent that you've never heard out of Jim before, and it's just, I hope you know what you're doing.
Let's just say, Jim, that loyalty is everything, and sometimes even the closest people to you aren't loyal as you think. Keep that in mind if you go back to Terre.
Oh, I'll go back to Terre. There's plenty of money to be made in Terra. More money than either one of us know. You did good running your town.
Thank you, Jim. I'll get back before anybody makes you a suspect.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be back in Terra for a few months yet.
Probably smarter than going back now.
I mean, gotta do what I gotta do, right? He offers you a hand. Like, he offers to shake your hand.
I'll shake his hand.
And he's like, if you see me again, if you need me, come find me. Normally you can find me in the closest bar to whatever dock I'm sitting at.
Keep it in mind, Jim. I'm sure our paths will meet again one day.
And he watches you walk down the pier. And as you are walking down the pier, you see a Katek. This one is has a almost midnight black coat, and like they are much taller than the last one that's been introduced on this podcast. However, you also see them interacting with a satyr. Hey, what do you want?
Hello, my name is Les. You can call me Les. I have come looking for the Windwalkers.
The Windwalkers, you say? I mean, do you see the gem of the sea in dock? No, the gem ain't here. Like, the Maiden's Glory ain't here either. Neither is the Golden Globe, Matriarch's Sail, or the World's End. Those are the 5 ships of the Windwalkers. You see them anywhere nearby? No, you don't see them nowhere. Thank you for listening to our prologue. We are all excited for the first tale to begin next week. We hope you enjoyed listening and would love it if you let us know. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and even TikTok. The link to our link tree will be in the video description.